today.
I got it, good.
Just check.
Good morning, everyone. The time is now 9:00 a.m. on April the 6th, 2021. I call to order the City Council meeting for the City of Statesboro. With that being said, we will have our invocation and pledge of allegiance by City Member Sherry Walker.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Please pray with me. We pause this morning before we begin deliberations on the business of the city. We pause and breathe and remember why we're here. We open to guidance that we make the best decisions possible, that we all stay open to the truth that we're in it together and we need to work together for the good of us all. May we remember that. May we be guided. May we do good work. May it be so. Amen. May this be.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now move down to agenda item number 3, public comment. Leah, are there any public comment?
No, we do not have any sign up.
Seeing that there are no public comments, we will now move down to agenda item number 4, consideration of a motion to approve the consent agenda. A, approval of minutes, 316 council minutes, and B, consideration of a motion of approval of surplus plus and disposal of equipment in the Public Works and Engineering Department. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item number 4 has been approved. We will now move down to agenda item number 5, public hearing and consideration of motion to approve applications for an alcohol license, section 6-5, and I'm going to combine these two. A, Food Mart, 18 East Parish Street, Statesboro, Georgia, 30458, where the owner is S. Patel, and B, Go Market, 2855 Northside Drive, West Suite A, Statesboro, Georgia, 30458, owner Parth Patel. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Planning and zoning, any problems? Okay. Fire,
No issue.
police,
No issues, man.
city attorney?
No issues.
Is there anyone here to speak for the request? Is there anyone here to speak against? Seeing that there is no one here to speak for or against, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion by staff or council? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item number 5 has been approved. We'll now move down to agenda item number 6, consideration of motion to approve the Statesboro Police Department towing, rotation, and record agreement. Charles?
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, annually, this item will come before you. And so Chief, being efficient, has brought this back to you. There are no changes in the policy. We made some changes last year, and we simply recommend to you that you approve the towing, breaker and towing agreement that's before you.
Thank you, Charles. Is there any discussion by council?
Chief, did you talk to all the towing companies? Just making sure?
Yeah, we're in pretty constant communication with them.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
No, it's all good. You said no changes whatsoever? Okay, that's good. It's been an issue in the past, and so,
Big issue.
yeah.
So I want to make
It
sure
seems
they
like
know.
we've settled it down here lately. so-
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Seeing that there's no further discussion by council, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item number 6 has been approved. We will now move down to agenda item number 7, consideration of motion to approve an amendment a lease agreement with Georgia Southern University Business Innovation Group, Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, to expand lease premise to include Suite C, former location of Cape, located at 58 East Main Street. King.
City attorney.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, this is before y'all. Back in 2015, there was an EDA grant, and two of the recipients of that grant were Georgia Southern University and the City of Statesboro. Part of that was the creation of the Business Incubation / Fab Lab, now known as BIG, which is down on the corner. So they have around 3,800 square feet of leased premises there. That's city-owned property. In addition, there is right here next to Joe Brand Hall, where there used to be Cake and Cool Beans Coffee Bar. That premises was vacated by a retail tenant about a year and a half ago or so. And we've been looking for a use for that property, and Big indicated that they would be interested in using that parcel as well. It's around 1,250 square feet. And so what this lease amendment would do is simply put Suite C in there under the same terms that Big already has on their previously leased property. And staff does recommend approval of this lease amendment.
Thank you, Kane. Any discussion by council? Seeing that there's no discussion by council, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item number 7 has been approved. We will now move down to agenda item number 8, consideration of motion to approve resolution 2021-17, a resolution approving application for funding from the local government scrap tire abatement reimbursement STAR program in the amount not to exceed $15,000 for tire amnesty day event. Charles.
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, this is the first time we are applying for these funds, but with this amnesty program will allow, it will reimburse us for disposal of tires, and what we'll do is open it up for a day for people to bring in scrap tires and for us to be able to dispose of them. Now, there's some limitations, like you won't be able to, no tractor or skidder tires will be taken from recycling, but residents will be able to bring other tires and be able to dispose of them. And we recommend that you authorize us to apply for these funds.
Thank you. Any discussion by council?
I just have a couple quick questions. The total we could probably go for isn't it 50? Or is 15 the max? I can't remember. Is it
I assume we applied for the most.
the max? Okay. And then is there gonna be some way we're gonna coordinate with the county? My sense is that if we have something like this in the city, it's not just gonna be city residents, it's gonna be folks from the entire community. And so my point being, you know, are we gonna collaborate with them to do an event, to get it publicized, and possibly even, depending on how many tires, because I know Public Works, they're constantly picking up tires from the side of the road, and it ain't just city tires. So, and I'm not trying to start a fight with the county, I'm just suggesting that, you know, if we do this, a lot of folks that live out in the county are gonna bring those tires in, and then the city's gonna have to pay for that. So have we reached out to the county at all, or KBB reached out?
I can't tell you that we have, but we will.
Okay,
We will.
but you understand my concern.
Yeah, I agree.
Ms. Penny, the last time I was there, the county was still taking tires at the collection centers less than a year ago. So we might, just coordinate with them, knowing that they already have something in place. We might could tap into them more often.
We'll certainly try to work through those things.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion by council? Seeing there's none, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item number 8 has been approved. We will now move down to agenda item number 9, consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2021-18, a resolution approving application for funding from the local government scrap tire abatement reimbursement STAR in amount not to exceed $6,000 for disposal of tires collected in public rights of ways.
Mayor, members of the council, this is our third year that we've applied for these funds. And again, we are collecting tires, and this is the way for us to be able to get some reimbursement. Otherwise, we'll just collect them on our own and dispose of them, and this is the way for us to get some reimbursement from the state. There's no matching requirement. All we're required to do is provide the manpower, person power, and the equipment to collect the tires. And we recommend that you authorize us to apply for the funds.
Any discussion by council? Seeing there's no discussion by council, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item number 9 has been approved. We will now move down to agenda item number 10, consideration of motion to approve an amendment to the contract with Freeze and Nichols in the amount of $65,000 to perform hydraulic and hydrology modeling study of the floodplain for the Creek on the Blue Mile project. Charles.
Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council, as you remember, Freeze and Nichols finished the feasibility study, and they agreed to continue to do some work because as a result of that study, what we discovered is there was a large cost for a reservoir, and it exceeded what we thought the cost was going to be able to do the improvements that we were interested in. The big cost being the creation of that reservoir. But as a part of the work that was done, what we know is that the flood maps are old. The flood maps were done in the 70s. And in the meantime, we've had development along that area. And so what we're recommending to you is to authorize Freeze and Nichols to do work to determine where what the floodplain actually is at this point based on development. That will also help us to identify alternatives to being able to do the things that we want to create on the creek on the Blue Mile. This work normally comes at a cost of about $130,000. And what they recognize, Freeze and Nichols recognizes that probably would be a no-go to walk in here and ask you for $130,000. So they too want to work with us. And so we recommend authorizing $65,000 to pay for this cost. These funds, we paid for the study out of the grant funds, and the $65,000 would also be covered out of those grant funds. We do recommend it to you.
Thank you, Charles.
Mhm.
Any discussion by council?
Educate me a little bit, please. How do the floodplain maps come into existence normally, and are they not normally updated as some federal function?
Those floodplain maps are, well, the feds are responsible for the floodplain. And it's contracted out, but it's not something that's done every day. Georgia is a little bit behind it, and I speak from experience that coming from North Carolina, we had a problem with the same issue. And back in 1999, when we had major flooding from Hurricane Floyd, our maps were outdated. And so the state worked with the feds to update the maps. They spent a lot of money updating the maps. And so unless someone moves that ball forward, it would be great for the state to do that. But in the meantime, if we want to see development going, we need to know where the floodplain actually is. And so this will help us get more up-to-date information. Once we do this work, we can then submit a letter, map amendment to the feds. And based on hydraulic information and that engineering information, they will either approve or deny our recommendation for map amendment. But as long as you have good engineering data, they will normally allow you to amend the floodplain map. But it's a big task. But in this case, we're not looking at the whole city. We're just looking at one area that we would recommend that we look at the floodplain map. But it would be a major undertaking for the state of Georgia. And at some point, they will need to do that. But in this case, we need to do it right now if we're going to look at future development in this area.
Well, presumably, Freeze and Nichols has already done so much of this sort of work that they can do it less expensively than just coming in fresh.
Right. And again, they recognize that they did what we asked them to do, but they want to be a good partner, and that's why they are also carrying some of that cost to actually do the work.
Thank you.
Mr. Penny,
Yes.
how far is the study gonna go? Is it just gonna be for the, is it just gonna be for the reservoir, or is it gonna go all the way down the creek, behind, 180 Fitness and,
And I'm gonna, because I'm not an engineer, I'm gonna look to my engineer. And I would think it would be the boundary that we call the creek on the Blue Mile. The reservoir is probably not as much of an issue in this floodplain work that's being done. What we're just trying to find out is what the existing floodplain really is based on development that has occurred over the years. So we know exactly where those lines lie right now, but it would be the extent of the area. Jason, can you be more specific?
Yeah, it'll be from the reservoir area and all the tributaries going into that area, downstream to Gentilly.
to Gentilly?
Okay. Is it gonna include, upper Little Lots Creek that runs right over here? Because, I mean, that's always been a concern about this whole thing is that, you know, a lot of water runs through here, especially when it rains a lot. I mean, all the water from the east side of downtown funnels into that. And yet, it's that volume has never been factored into, either the creek or, you know, especially the creek, which has to maintain a specific volume of water. So are we gonna include that in this study? I mean, it's part of the, I mean, if you look at the floodplain along that creek, it then ties into Little Lots Creek and comes all the way up to downtown. And I can tell you this, I've never seen this thing flood since I've been here, so it'd be, is that, do we know if that's included? Sorry.
I don't know if it comes all the way up this tributary, all the way to downtown, but it does take into effect some of the confluence of this tributary with Little Lots Creek.
Okay, I mean, because, again, I mean, right, everything from Hill Street, everything, I mean, it all flushed, this culverts on Main Street right here, they all go into that ditch and they'll ultimately end up down there, so I'm not sure how they can do a study without including that volume of water, which can be significant.
Yeah, we'll verify all that to make sure that it's not diminished on the downstream calculations.
It sounds like it might be worthwhile to get them to include it if it's not already.
Then we'll be coming back to you to amend the agreement problem.
That's fine.
Okay?
I mean, because ultimately, if we do something on that creek, there's enough water, it's going to affect the project. At some point, we're going to have to do it and factor it in, so we might as well just do it now. Right?
We will look at it.
Okay.
We'll make sure and we'll report back to you. Okay. We do recommend it to you.
Any further discussion by council? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let it show that agenda item number 10 has been approved. We will now move down to agenda item number 11, other business from city council. Is there any other business?
A couple of things I'd like to share, please, Mayor Pro Tem. I saw on Facebook that Feed the Borough has another food drive this Saturday out in the Brooklyn area. It's Southeast Bulloch, starting at 9 o'clock Saturday morning. No qualifications. If you need groceries, show up, they'll put some in your car. And then the other thing, the community memorial is scheduled for this Sunday afternoon. Hopefully you've already seen it, social media and paper. But there will be on the courthouse square, weather permitting, at 4 o'clock, a memorial where we've invited different faith traditions. It's an interfaith effort to come together and recognize and kind of mourn together the loss of the more than 110 people who died in the last year of COVID. So that's at 4 o'clock this Sunday afternoon, social distancing, mask. But join us if you can, and if you feel safer, watch it because it will be covered on Facebook Live and the city's YouTube channel. That's it.
I would also like to shed light that the month of April is Autism Awareness Month. So let us be mindful of those who've been diagnosed with autism. Let us learn more about autism and how it affects individuals, and let us be good neighbors to those who've been diagnosed with autism and their families. I'd also like to say, keep the Little Lots Creek community in your prayers. Those people have lost their homes and we're trying to gather resources for them so that they can, find new places to abide. But in that time period until they find a place, let us remember them. Let us keep them in our prayers. Any other discussion or any other comments by council?
I just wanted to tap on what Mayor Pro Tem said, all of the families who have been affected by the fires in the last 2 weeks, let's just keep their families in prayer.
Thank you. We will now move down to agenda item number 12, city manager's comments.
Mayor Pro Tem, just couple announcements. One, just want to remind everyone, especially folks on Facebook Live, that this Saturday, we're doing the Great American Cleanup, beginning at the Convention and Visitors Bureau on South Main Street. So we invite volunteers to come out. And then, just for council's information, and we've had so many people that have already been vaccinated, we are going to hold a vaccination session in council chambers for our city employees and their spouses. And that's going to be on April the 19th. And we'll send that out to you. So if you got dependents on our insurance, we'd love for you to, if they haven't been vaccinated, we're using Johnson & Johnson, so it's one and done. So we want to encourage you to get vaccinated if you have not. But I believe most of the council has already been done. Okay? Thank you.
And you didn't mention what time about the Great American Cleanup, it's 9 o'clock, right?
It's 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. And now, okay.
I just wanted to add one other thing, and that is since we're talking about vaccinations, I did want to say congratulations to Georgia Southern for their effort. I think they vaccinated 1,600 just on Friday, and they've already vaccinated 3,500, almost 4,000. So it was an efficient effort. I mean, I saw Brent Tharp, Dr. Tharp, the director of the museum, out there directing traffic. He was about the only one I could recognize from a distance with a mask on. So, but there were literally hundreds of people out there facilitating that. They had 5 lines, and so Georgia Southern is doing an amazing job. Volume vaccinating tons of people. I got mine on Friday. My car's in the picture there.
Did they use J&J?
They're using the Pfizer vaccine, so I do have to go back at the end of the month. But it was incredibly efficient. They were very friendly, and I just want to say, I mean, as far as having an impact on our community, not only here, but in Savannah and Hinesville, the university's done an amazing job. So if folks didn't realize what they're doing out there, they vaccinated a lot of folks.
Mayor Pro Tem, while we're talking about vaccines, let me just share information I was sharing with some of my family members who are reluctant. My understanding is it's not over. The numbers are coming down. We've done well here in Bulloch County, but some of the states surrounding us, the variants are going up. The variants are how the virus mutates and changes, and the big change is it's more transmissible. And so it's kind of a race against time to get enough of our people here in Bulloch County, I mean the whole world, but what we're talking about is Bulloch County, and to get enough people vaccinated here before those variants get here, because there's surges starting again. It's going up in other parts of this country because of the variants can spread so much more quickly. And the vaccines are protection against them too. They're designed to protect the main one, but it's some help too. If you get any vaccine, you're a lot less likely to get the virus, and if you get it, you'll have a much lighter case. So it's really important. Folks who haven't been vaccinated, encourage them to do so. It's available lots of places now. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? We'll now move down to agenda item number 13, public comments. Are there any public comments?
Nobody signed up for
Okay. We'll now move down to agenda item number 14, consideration of motion to enter executive sessions to discuss personnel matters, real estate, and/or potential litigation in accordance with O.C.G.A. 50-14-3B. Is there a motion to approve?
So
Enter
moved.
session.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We'll now go into our executive session. Everyone in the city out in
It is
office
for personnel.
Personnel.
for personnel.
Hey, Ms. Trish,
Yeah.